guys, it's Randy. So I do know that it is now December and I meant to make this video like early November, but I got very busy and was traveling and stuff. So I went ahead and decided I'd make the video now, and I just wanted to talk about how, since it's getting cold, and if you're anything like me, then my rheumatoid arthritis doesn't do as well when it's cold. So like anything between October through February is typically the time where I experience more flares. So I just wanted to share some tips and tricks that I do when it starts to get cold to help my joints and to minimize flares. So I know a few of y'all are actually in college currently, and since I just graduated college, I do know how tough it is to walk to class when it's cold, and I know how hard it is to keep everything warm, and you can't avoid going to class. So there's always different things that you have to try and figure out to do in order to combat the cold. So the biggest thing with walking to class, or even just in my day-to-day life now with going to the store and stuff, I always try to bundle up. And the first thing that I actually did was, when I got to college, my mom actually purchased me a coat, which was kind of weird because I am from the South and I did go to school in the South. So a lot of my friends were like, "Randy, why do you have such a big coat and why are you wearing it to class all the time?" But I promise, guys, with the coat, as well as I wore gloves, I made sure to wear warm shoes, I wore a beanie, I wore scarves. All of that helped to keep me so warm, even though it may have only been 50 degrees or 40 degrees outside. Any type of cold that hits your joints isn't good for your body. So I had to make sure that I was really, really warm instead of slightly cold, because I didn't want to run into a flare, especially during final season or the start of a semester. I also bought those little hand warmers. I think you can buy them from Walmart or Home Depot or Lowe's, and they activate, like you shake them and they activate and they stay warm. And I would keep them in my pockets when I'm walking from class to class. Then I made sure to keep my hands warm. It was really hard because, of course, during class, you're not allowed to be on your phone and text and stuff. So the second you get out of class, you want to update your friends or talk to your parents. But I just had to make sure that I kept my hands protected while walking from building to building. Now, as far as what I do when I'm at home, even now and during college, I have a heated blanket that I would sleep with, and that would make sure to keep me warm during the night. I also had a weighted blanket. I do like the weighted blanket more. I mean, I love my heating blanket just because it is so warm and cozy, but the weighted blanket, since it applies a certain amount of weight onto your body, then it's kind of like someone is laying on top of you. So it's like a big hug during the whole night, so you do feel warm as well. And also another thing that I have is a heating pad. If just one specific joint is aching or not feeling well, then I just put the heating pad on it. But for preventative measures, then I just made sure I was bundled up with the weighted blanket or the heated blanket for the night. And also, I have purchased a lot of fuzzy socks. I try to make sure that I always have socks on my feet, even if I'm inside, and especially if I'm outside. But of course, if I'm inside and walking around the house, then I make sure to have fuzzy socks on, because heat gets lost out of your feet as well as your head. And my feet tend to flare up first. My feet and my hands kind of go hand in hand with who will flare up first when it gets really cold. But I want to make sure that I can protect my feet, and so I just have to wear socks all the time, and I make sure to wear them when I go to sleep. Above all else, I try to limit my time outside. And I know it's really hard because it is the best time of the year, and my birthday does fall in the winter, and so I always want to be on the go. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to go here, I want to go there, but I have to think about my body, and I can do all of those things. I just need to do them in moderation. Maybe not do it back to back to back or try and cram everything to one weekend, but to spread it out so that I'm not outside for an extended period of time. So I hope that this video does help. I know I do live in the South, so I don't really experience winters, but of course if you live in the North and everything that I said, you just take it up a notch. Your coat would obviously be way bigger than my coat, but it's all the same thing about layering and make sure you're covered up. And I know that, for one thing, some people typically don't, a lot of people aren't cold when they're outside. And I know that that is a thing for people, but you have to understand that even though your skin, or you don't feel like you're cold, it's still affecting your joints. So always make sure to bundle up. And if you have anything else that you want to say to me or reach out to me, you know where to find me. And I hope that y'all have a great rest of y'all's day. Goodbye.